Shalom. Kol Holo Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Raha Hakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name is Barad DeBall, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom. Especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Today, title actually comes from Obadiah chapter 1, verse 17, is all the men of thy confederacy. And so we're going to go into to a few scriptures. Actually, I got a couple, like 3 videos and a few thoughts that I want to bring out. But in the end, all the men of thy confederacy will turn against the whore Babylon, which is aka America. And so before I begin, let's start with the videos, and then at least 2 of the videos, and then we'll go from there.
America doesn't know the same thing that Canada is hearing. I was just on a call with some very, very well-educated people. I mean, people who work in D.C., lawyers, writers, like very well-educated people.
And as you can see, I just wanted to stop real quick and, just give kudos and credit, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. Arrows of Indignation 144 is which inspired me to go into some videos or some scriptures based off of what you see in here.
Well, and as of this morning, Saturday, February 8th, I was saying to them, Canada is preparing for war. And they were like, what are you talking about? They don't know. Our Prime Minister yesterday, Justin Trudeau yesterday, was caught on a hot mic, but let's be honest, we all needed to know, and he was caught saying it, that what I said earlier, last week, what I said, that Trump is going to annex us, invade, he wants our critical minerals. It's a serious threat. It is not a joke. Jimmy Fallon is out there making jokes about, maybe 179 countries will watch the Super Bowl because we'll take over Canada by Sunday. Not funny, Jimmy. Not funny. And so I was on this call, and I said, we're preparing for a war. And they were like, with who? With us, with the U.S. And I told them how serious it was, how Canadians everywhere have spent the last week boycotting the U.S. and looking at ways to make sure that they've sort of decentered the U.S. from their conversations and their lives. This is a very serious, we're not going back. And Americans are not hearing it. They don't know. In British Columbia, which, and I'm sure most people don't know this, British Columbia is larger than every state except for Alaska, where I think we're almost twice the size of Texas. And our premier in BC has said that any government contracts going forward, if they have them with the U.S., they are going to, when the contracts come up, they're looking for other countries to do them with. So businesses that are out of the U.S. at all are going to be cut off from the province of BC. And that's huge. And I know that other premiers are doing the same thing. So I don't get why they don't know that this is serious. How do they not know? I mean, I assume it's just that they're not taking it seriously or that they haven't heard about it. And I put out that video last week. And I think it's 80,000 views so far. I have not registered any comments from Americans, which is concerning because if it has that many views and I'm not seeing comments, I don't know if they're seeing it. How do they not know? Guys, you're about to go into war.
I promise you, you are not going to see this on the news. Americans have no idea what is happening right now, and that is not an accident. The government is intentionally keeping us in the dark. I just got off of a FaceTime call with a friend who's a policymaker in Ottawa, and she informed me that Canada and the Canadians are fully preparing for a war on the U.S. Just yesterday, Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, was caught on a hot mic saying that Donald Trump is serious when he says that he wants to make Canada the 51st state, and that it is a serious threat when he says that he wants to invade Canada and annex Canada because he wants Canada's critical minerals. Americans just don't even know that this is happening. To mention, Canadians are fully aware of this as well. If you walk into a store right now in Canada, you're going to see labels telling people what's American made so that the Canadians don't buy it. And then in British Columbia, which is huge, by the way, the premier in British Columbia is saying that they're going to cut off all contracts that are up with the U.S., meaning businesses in the U.S. will be cut off from doing business with British Columbia. And we're over here in America thinking that everything is hunky-dory with our allies. Meanwhile, they're pretty much getting ready to take us down. And honestly, I don't even know if this content is going to get pushed out to any Americans. So all in all, we're, I guess, about to go to war.
So as you can see, I would suggest, great suggestion to subscribe and continuously be edified. Arrows of Indignation 144, the water for the video, because as you can see, there's another video I want to play, just lightheartedly, but this is very serious. Check this.
Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know. How would they know? How would they know? How would they know? I can't. Oh my god!
So I play that because, of course, that was the theme pretty much, is that you have the people of America completely in the dark, like the lady and the second lady mentioned. The first one said, they don't even know. U.S. doesn't even know. And then, of course, you had the second lady who made the mention of, it's like, while Americans are destroying their cities over the Super Bowl, they're dealing with the wildfires in California. There's country takeovers in cities and things like that. We'll just say countries that has been planned and in the process of being planned. And you have other nations that are watching and preparing themselves, right? While, again, the video I just posted here, just lightheartedly, is the counsel of the wicked. They have a mindset in which they making certain moves, and they're giving bread and circus. If you look that up, you'll see what that means. They're giving entertainment to distract the masses of people, while in the background they have all these things that they are planning, all over the world, and eventually, complete dominance and control, which will be the MOTB. All right. Which, they're looking to push at some point. One moment, Salakia. All right. So I got a scripture I want to bring out, and I got a few other things that's going on, but let's not take too long. This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee." So eventually you have Canada, like they said, they're preparing for war. And of course you had Mexico, because he mentioned tariffs. So you have a border crisis that's going on the other side, where Mexico has been involved. And he talked about placing tariffs on Mexico, also placing tariffs on Canada, and these, increasing the taxes and certain things. And that's why you see where, the lady mentioned, and the second lady mentioned how they're making purposes to not buy, the imports that are coming from America in Canada. And then also, as certain contracts are coming up, they are changing, and looking for other countries to do business. Trudeau had, there was a video in which Trudeau had actually stood up, and he had mentioned that, yeah, the tariffs that you're pushing, because it's an economic war, as well, to push nations and people to do, to do the bidding for America, or to make people move the way America wants them to move. And of course, the dollar currently is still in its process of being the majority, as far as its strength and influence. And so, of course, you had Trudeau, who said, hey, this is going to affect Canada, but it's going to hurt America more. And so, again, these are those who had been in league with America. And these nations, of course, eventually will turn. As you can see, it says, the men that were in peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat their bread have laid a wound under thee. So when they made all these agreements, to make money and different things, to build an increase, now they're making these changes. As you can see, secretly, they're finding ways to connect with other countries and nations to, and of course, eventually it'll be, if they're considering, if it's what she said was true, they'll be looking for protection, because they're setting up, for war. They're expecting for some type of war. And this is a time like no other ever before. And it says, there is none understanding in him. So the way that he's moving, actually, is just like the prophecy said that he would. Let me get this here in the he enlargeth. Let's see if it'll pull up this way. Let me see. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 5. It says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. Okay, with his policies and his doctrines, he's actually had many nations believing in his ways. Right, and because they started to believe, and he pretty much turned those things against him. So the agreements that they had, he's broken them. But then, as a result, you have these nations who have made these agreements with him. They actually fare worse than when they were on their own. But in any case, or become more controlled. Then like the lady said initially, the first one said they're coming in because they want to take the resources. All right. And we know how the scriptures say they covet fields and they take them by violence. Right. So it says, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death. So he enlargeth his desire because, again, you have even Gaza where, Trump had a meeting, and he had Netanyahu, right there alongside him. And he talked about how, he was going to take over Gaza. And when he takes over Gaza, I guess they were going to build some type of resort or some sort over that. But pretty much in the end, they're looking to take over that. Also, I have another video I'd like to show, and we'll bring that up, Lord willing, if I could remember. But then you have Mexico, the Gulf of Mexico, and Google Maps, now have been changed. Instead of the Gulf of Mexico, they now have it reading the Gulf of America. And so that is a proud man to just go and take something and change it when it's been something for such a long time, right? Though it's not a physical field, it's a body of water. Still, it applies, right? When he says he covet fields and he take them by violence, right? He covet that area, and he pretty much said this is ours. And of course, just like if the things that the lady mentioned is true, if there's minerals or certain things that they want, It sounds like they're looking to, take it also by war if necessary. He says, keep it and never keep it at home. So of course you see him in Gaza, talking about going to Gaza, sending troops over into America, maybe even sending troops into Canada. He also talks about the Panama Canal, taking over the Panama Canal. He's spreading his army thin, just like the first Rome, all right, who sent their armies all over the place, and yet the very homeland became became more vulnerable, and there was a lot of infighting and disagreements, right? He says, and is as and desired as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations. So said he's going to take Canada unto himself, and heapeth unto him all people. So as you can see, this is prophecy of showing you who the devil is, all right, and who's in rulership currently and presently. So that's just something that came to mind. This is the book because there was something about the war, right? I wanted to bring this out. And the book of Joel, all right, they said Canada is preparing for war. And years ago, let's say in the last 5 years, you wouldn't have heard many nations at all speaking of coming against America, or having even talks of preparing for any type of fight with America. And so you have this here. He says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Okay, these nations. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat their plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Because at one point, you had nations that would not speak, let alone prepare war against this nation. And so, of course, there are alliances that are being built. And while all these things are happening, again, when I say all these things, you have, this digital currency race, right? Of course, let me go back to Panama, the Panama Canal, which, Trump has mentioned, hey, we're going to go back and, we're going to take that over, which currently they're saying China is actually ruling it. But on top of that, there's this digital currency race that they're looking to push, as well to compete. And that's why you're going to keep hearing this China with the digital currency and the way they've been moving. And then you have Greenland. There's talks of, I believe it was a talk that, they're talking about occupying and taking over Greenland. Okay. And so these nations are seeing how he is moving. All right. Talking about taking Gaza, taking Canada, Greenland. So now you're looking to occupy and take space. And so you're stretching your armies thin. So, of course, as that's happening, then they're going to say, hey, we need to prepare just in case this nation, America, is talking about coming over here and taking over what we have. And so the only best thing would be to do is beat your plowshares with your farming tools into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. So that is a way, again, he says, the Gentiles prepare war. Okay. And so we're getting to that point, that third world war. And of course, the nations, because of these things, are going to burn this place up. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Because, again, all these things that are happening is because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is he works in the kingdom of men. Okay, and he works on the hearts of men. That's when you look at Proverbs 21. It says, as rivers of water. Let me get it. Proverbs 21, verse 1, it says, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the things in which he's doing, Trump, And of course the elites, the high ranking elites, those that we know of and don't know of. When you talk about Elon and who's been a lot, his name been mentioned a lot in the news. But then all these elites, those that are also in secret, they are they're moving. The Lord is moving them to work a certain work, and the reason for that is for the prophecies to be fulfilled. Again, let every man's let the Most High's word be true, and every man a liar. All right. So again, that golden cup, the Lord is in Yahweh's hands. All right, and Yahweh Shai is orchestrating, all these things. All right. He says all the earth drunken, excuse me, that made all the earth drunken. The nations are drunken of her wine. So all the doctrines, the things in which they were pushing, they're seeing that they're finding out that it was all lies, and they've pretty much have gotten the bad end of many of the policies and things in which America has pushed. It says, therefore, the nations are mad. Let's get one more. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed, but she will not. And again, they're going to eventually shoot nukes in this place. Okay. And this place is going to be utterly destroyed. And it's because of how the things we see, how they're moving. Okay. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. So that's just, like a slight way of speaking. Forsake her and let us go, everyone into his own country. And you're starting to see within America, whether it be Chinese shops and hair shops and certain things, they're starting to close down. And many of these nations are starting to move back into their homeland. It says, for her judgment reacheth unto the heaven and is lifted up even into the sky. So it's just like the Lord he has that bounds. Esau, Edom has a bounds in which he cannot pass. Eventually his tab is reaching up to the point where he's now have to pay his tab for all the things in which he's done. So we'll stop there. Let's get this the book and I had certain places in order, but we're just going to go down the line. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 11. Actually, before I get this, let's get that other video.
Doug, you'll be back.
This could affect your spring break plans. The Gulf of Mexico has been renamed the Gulf of America. This after President Trump signed an executive order on his first day back in office. That order took effect yesterday. There you go. Google's reprogrammed. Google explained the change in a post on X saying, quote, they have a long-standing practice of applying name changes when they have been updated in official government sources.
So reportedly, if you're in Mexico, it still looks like the Gulf of Mexico. But if you're in other countries, you'll see both names.
Wow.
I know.
So that's okay. Now you see, they're saying you will see both names. Have a scripture for you. Let's pull up a quick scripture. This is the book of Psalms 49, verse 11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. So they believe that with all the things in which they've done, that they're not going to get paid for the things, that they're going to continue on, and they're going to make this land great again. And their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And of course, you see, this is a prophecy, a certain thing in which Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, has put in his word to show, indicator, to show who they are. And of course, though it is a body of water, they have taken it and called it after their own name. And so I want to get this here. I didn't mean to delete that. Slovakia. And I don't remember what that was. Okay, so this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 15, it says, "Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. And their works are in the dark, and they say, who seeth us? And who knoweth us?" So, of course, that, that goes for all nations, 2/3 of our people as well, who, have these secret councils and meetings, and things to try to, get advantage over, men, whether it be the men of the Lord or just in general. But in today's time, the main council that's being done in these summits and these groves, Bohemian groves, and different things. These high meetings again with the elite and the presidents and the kings of the earth. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, he sees and he knows. And I think I know which scripture that I may have deleted there. Let me get it. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 10. He says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself." So now we're understanding who this is, in these last times, and how they're moving, okay? Who the enemy is and what's actually going to happen. It says, "His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not." So as you can see, starting with the head tribe of Amalek, they're actually are getting billions of dollars sent over to them to ensure that their habitation and their lifestyle is comfortable. Whereas you see the other nations are becoming angry because they are getting spoiled and taken advantage of and being told how they should move, which is going to hurt their people. So they're going to start to think more about themselves, just like America is saying, hey, we're thinking about us first. So this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verses 25 and 26, because as you've seen in that video where it says in some places now you have the Gulf of Mexico and America. And so now all over, this is what's the sentiment. Okay, it says Matthew chapter 12, verses 25 and 26. "And Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation." And that's what's going to happen to this place. All right. And of course, the place that is currently occupied, by the true, by the false claiming people. All right. That place is the true people of Israel are not in the land. All right. It says, "And every city and house divided against itself shall not stand." So this is on a breach. It's ready to fall. This is on a tottering fence that's swinging back and forth with the wind. It's very unstable. Okay, with all the things that are going on, massive jobs layoffs. Okay, that's happening as well. There's been a lot of dissension and disagreements within the federal government, within the major government. When it comes down to, when I say the major government, you have the Democrats and the Republicans. And it says, "And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand?" And of course, they coming after the workings of Satan. All right. With all deceivableness. All right. They're deceiving their own people and they're going out and doing all these things. As the lady said in that video, she said, they don't know. The people don't know. As they're, again, you got all these things that are going on within America that is distracting you. But yet at the same time, outwardly, in the outskirts, these other nations are preparing themselves for a great an ultimate battle, which the scriptures, in Revelations talks about the third woe is soon to come, roughly paraphrasing. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11, verse 18. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged. So, of course, that's, 2/3 of our people, along with the heathen nations, right? Again, when I say 2/3 of the people, these are the children of Israel, because those that are, like it tells us in, let me pull it up real quick. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 21, verse 16. The man that walketh out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So these are those who are alive. They're walking dead. They don't have Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, so it says, and the nations were angry, and their wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and they should, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name. So there's going to be salvation and destruction. All right, and don't get it twisted. Those who walk not in the ways of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and those who of the other nations, they're going to receive that passed on, and it looks as though that they've made it on. They're going to eventually receive their judgment as well. All right, there is a thing called reincarnation. They will come back into this land, and the Lord does also have the ability to rise them up in the time, just so that they can receive those nukes. Okay, it says, just want to throw that out there. But then it says, so he's going to give reward unto the servants, the prophets, those who's doing that work, and to the saints, which are also Israelites, okay, the elect, and them that fear thy name, the true name, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and small and great, and shouldest destroy them which destroyeth the earth. So you see they're going on all around the earth, and you see the trees being destroyed, land masses. I was actually just riding past, even here in Indianapolis, and there was all this wooded area. And in the last couple of days, I've seen more roadkill, in the last couple of days than I have since, I've pretty much lived in this area. But it's because they're starting to chop down all this wooded area, and the animals are looking for other places to go. And when they go across the street, they're getting hit. Okay, so just even within Americas and all over the earth, things are being destroyed and set on fire, whether it be naturally or by their hand. It's still by the hand of the Lord, but they're going to have to pay for that. All right, we're going to end with this last scripture. This is the book of Revelations, chapter 18, verse 20 through 24. It says, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. For all the things that they've done, and all this stuff is because of the children, the elect of the children of Israel. Okay, he says, those in which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is cherished. He says, and a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. So once this place is destroyed, and again, just like Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed by fire and brimstone, this place will be destroyed by the thermonuclear missiles. And I believe if you look up the brimstone, when it mentions the brimstone, that it goes into, it's like the same as like the nukes. But, it's something I probably have to bring out later on. Next verse, 22, it says, and a voice of the harp, it says, and the voice of the harpers and musicians, of pipers and trumpeters, shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found no more in thee, and the sound of the millstone, which is working, all right, grinding the jobs, shall be heard no more at all in thee, and the light of the candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. So all the marriages and the joy and all of this thing is going to utterly be destroyed. The things that you'll see is, you'll have desert creatures and owls and things like that that would dwell here. It says, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorcery were all nations deceived. So they deceived the whole entire earth. And this time through Yahweh Shem Yahushai, to pay this place vengeance for all the things that they've done. It says, and in her was found the blood of the prophets, see, and of the saints, and of all that were slain upon the earth. So that's why this place has to be destroyed, because the blood, that was shed, the blood has to also be shed, as it tells us in the book of Numbers. So I hope this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting of some sort to the elect body of true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Raha HaKadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. Until next time, all those listening and learning to you, I say, Shalom.